L'intervista a Gideon Levy che segue è stata trasmessa in diretta sabato 5 giugno alle ore 12 nel corso di WorldWildLo, la nuova rassegna stampa internazionale di LiberiOltre, in onda ogni sabato a mezzogiorno su Twitch. La registrazione dell'intera puntata è disponibile sui nostri canali podcast, che potete trovare su Spotify, su Google Podcast e sulle piattaforme principali di distribuzione dei contenuti audio. Buon ascolto! Eccoci tornati, ci ha raggiunto in collegamento Gideon Levy, una delle firme storiche del giornale israeliano Haaretz, con cui parleremo del nuovo governo che si sta formando in Israele. Good morning, Mr. Levy, and thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I understand that the public opinion in Israel is pretty much optimistic about the new government which is about to form and about the new coalition led by Bennett and Lapid. Even the Haaretz today says that the new government is worthy of praise and support. And to a certain extent, this is understandable. Netanyahu has finally been defeated after 12 years. But as far as I understand, you have a completely different opinion on the matter. You say that we ought to be realistic when it comes to change. You don't think that this is going to be a government of change. So why is it so for you?
First of all, again, thank you for having me. When one right-wing government is replacing another right-wing government, that's not a reason for a leftist to be happy or satisfied or hopeful. Because by the end of the day, I even don't know which of both governments will be more nationalistic and more right-wing. I'm not sure that Netanyahu's government will be the worst. I totally understand the sentiments of those who wanted to get rid of Netanyahu, but this is not enough. I mean, I was never part of this game in which getting rid of Netanyahu and then no matter what. No, it matters a lot what, and we are getting now a settler, a government which fully supports the continuance of the occupation, the apartheid, and the Jewish supremacy.
Yeah, and I'm under the impression here, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, that although Netanyahu has finally been defeated, his authoritarian policies are far from being rejected. I think that they will eventually be implemented also by the new executive. So do you agree with me on that, or am I getting this wrong?
No, I totally agree with you, and more than this. Netanyahu had some advantages. For example, he was very careful in using military force. Not that he didn't use force, including the last operation in Gaza. But even then, he knew where at least to finish it as soon as possible, and it lasted only 10 days. While the former operations in Gaza lasted 50 days and created much more bloodshed. So they will continue his line, no doubt. Maybe for some domestic policies, there will be a change, but the major issues which will challenge Israel, there will be no difference.
But the main objection to this view is that this new executive is so heterogeneous, like the coalition is so heterogeneous that the government won't actually be able to do anything, and it will be paralyzed most of the time, but cross vetoes and different opinions among leaders in the coalition. Is it true? Like, do you really think that the government will be paralyzed most of the time, or this is something that people say, but which is not true?
It might be paralyzed because of personal reasons, not because of ideology. Don't be wrong. There is much more agreement among the fragments of this government than disagreement. Even with those two small left Zionist parties which joined this government as very small and marginal factors, even with them, take, for example, the decision of the Human Rights Committee of the UN to investigate crimes of war in the last operation in Gaza. Even Labour was against it. I mean, the most or almost the most leftist fragment of this government spoke exactly like Netanyahu and Bennett. So, I mean, by the end of the day, there a consensus about the Jewish supremacy, about Zionism, and this is a masquerade to think that they are totally they're polarized, that they are so far away one from the other. Not at all. It might be paralyzed because of personal fractions and personal tensions. Time will show.
Okay, so now my last question, of course, is about Netanyahu. We know that he's going to face criminal trials after his mandate, and he looks like he's not going to accept his defeat very easily. Its epilogue resembles a lot that of Donald Trump, so much that many fear that he's going to somehow lead riots and violence among the country before, letting the new government be formed. Do you think this is a realistic scenario? Should Israel be worried about Netanyahu's supporters' reaction, or this is something that we can which has been which is not realistic?
First of all, he's relatively silent in recent days, which makes me a little worried, because this man is not going to give up easily. On the other hand, let's remember that even Donald Trump, who is much worse than Netanyahu in any comparison, he's more ignorant, he's more a racist. I mean, nothing to compare. Even Donald Trump finally gave up quite easily. Okay, there was one event in the Congress, and then everything went smoothly. I don't think that we face a real danger that Netanyahu supporters will take weapons and go to the Knesset. I don't see it happening. There will be some voices. There are already some voices. By the end of the day, if they will be able to present a new government, this government will be recognized.
Okay, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here today. And the interview is over right now, and I'm gonna stop recording. Thank you very much.